and singing this old Tennyson poem that was talking about Lancelot and fairy magic, and I just thought, I need to do that with my life. And here I am. So this is one of my King Arthur songs. When I got into the stories, I realized that all Disney generation stuff aside, they're not always bright and, kid-friendly. Now, it's not to say this song is not kid-friendly, but the dark sides of those tales, the human frailty, the humanity of them all. I mean, these knights came together as a brotherhood to try to change the world for the better, and greed and jealousy and all these things came in the way, and it just all fell apart. And what an amazing set of lessons that those 1,500-year-old stories can give us in the modern day. This is probably the ultimate tale of bitter jealousy and what it can drive you to. Morgan Le Fay took his son away, Mordred, and she raised him in secret. And this baby learned not brightness and love, but bitterness and deceit. And I wonder, as I look around me, how much of us are reflections of what we learn in the cradle. This is called Mordred's Lullaby. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down. Guileless son, I'll shape your belief, and you'll always know that your father's a thief, and you won't understand the cause of your grief, but you'll always follow the voices beneath that sing loyalty, 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 loyalty only to me. Child, your spirit will hate her, the flower who married my brother, the traitor. You will expose his puppet behavior, for you are the proof of how he betrayed her loyalty, 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 loyalty only to me. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down. Guileless older, each moment I'm watching my vengeance unfold. For the child of my body, the flesh of my soul, will die in returning the birthright he stole. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down. Hi, 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 hi. Thank you. Yeah, what have we got down there? I can't see it. Oh.
That's it.
I know. I just didn't believe you, that's why. Hi to everybody who's come on in. Another tale of magic. I go looking at old legends, I think, because those creation stories and those myths are, outside of the fantasy genre, are often the only time people really get a chance to feel awe-inspired by things they can't explain. This is a tale from Canada's far north. It talks about Sedna, who was a beautiful Inuit girl who went out on a long voyage in a double kayak with her father. This could have been a normal voyage, except The storm blew up out of nowhere, and as they sailed out across, the paddle dipping into the empty ocean, they saw the clouds coming to meet them on the horizon. They turned and they started paddling back to the far shore through this barren wasteland of water. And they knew they wouldn't make it. Now, Sedna was brave and thought to ride out the storm, but her father was craven. He looked back at his only daughter and he thought, this kayak would go faster if it were lighter. And wouldn't you know it, he pulled back and he threw her into the water, there to sink down into the deep. That could have again been the end of the story, except Sedna would not let go, and she swam after that fleeing kayak. She grabbed a hold and would not let go, even though her father hit her fingers over and over with the paddle. She would not let go until her fingers had turned into icicles, and like ice they snapped and fell, and she drifted down with them into the deep. Again could have been the end of the story. Except Sedna looked around her in this empty blackness and thought, if this is to be my new home, then I shall not be alone. And with a force of will, each one of those fingers that was falling down behind her turned into an animal. It turned into a seal or a whale or a walrus. And even today, the children of Sedna populate the most difficult of terrain. Sedna roamed the deep, the cold, forgotten deep. No one wants to be alone. Sedna roamed the deep, the cold, forgotten deep. No one wants to be alone. From her hands they fell, children of the ocean swell, with ice's twinkle given sight. She offered them a name, and seals they all became, laughing took a coat of dappled light. Sedna roamed the deep, the cold, forgotten deep. No one wants to be alone. The cold, forgotten deep. No one wants to be alone. From her hands they fell, ever in the sea to dwell, nimble-fingered, quick and live. She offered them a name, and otters they became, keepers of her secrets in the ice. Sedna roamed the deep, the cold, forgotten deep. No one wants to be alone. Sedna roamed the deep, the cold, forgotten deep. No one wants to be alone. To be alone.